everyone, it's Amy with expressionsvinyl.com, and today I have this really fun project idea on how to apply HTV to dog collars. So this was the original project I did, and I used glitter as well as Easyweed for my design, and I first used the iron. And I like the iron, but it was still a little bit tricky on applying it, but I'll quickly show you what I did. There are a couple of ways you could do this. You could first size the collar to whatever size your dog is and then begin applying your design. Or you can go ahead, if you want the entire collar to have a design, you could stretch it out to the longest, what I call the longest side, or however long the collar is, and apply your design that way. And it also will depend on what type of heat source you're going to be using. So since I use the iron, I first sized whatever size fit my dog's neck, and then went about and applied my design that way. So you could see right here on this buckle, I had a heart and applied some on this end and the majority of it on this end. So it was fairly easy. You just put it on there and apply the pressure. You don't necessarily need to put a sheet on, but you can for safety reasons or just your own personal preference. And you press down for however long is needed for each type of HTV. And that's how I did this one. So I wanted to see what else I could apply to the dog collar. And one thing that I did come across was that not all dog collars are the same. So if you look at this one, you could see that there must have been some type of wax finishing on this. And from my understanding, this one is a nylon. This one seems to be nylon as well. And from the feel of this, it seems to be nylon as well. But you could see that either the heat was on too much, or because of the finishing, it just did not like the heat in the vinyl on it. So test some of the area on the collar on the back to see how it holds up to the heat, and kind of pick and choose what works best for you. So this one, you can see it has prominent ridges. You can see the lines right there. And then there is this other one that I found that had ridges, but you can't see and feel it as much. So I wanted to see what this one would. I already did some tests on the back, so this one is really good for the heat as well. And I opted out of using the iron, and I wanted to see how it would work with straightener, just because it will seem like it would be easier to hold the collar and the HTV and press it down at the same time without your fingers burning. And it worked really well, so I really liked the method of using the straightener. And I'll show you how I did that really quick. So I tried with Easyweed, holographic, reflective, and strip flock, and all of these worked very well with this collar as well as this one. So we'll go ahead and try a strip flock. And there's a variety of colors you can pick and choose. This design, I just Googled a silhouette image of a dog, and that's how I found this image. And depending on wherever your settings are for your iron, this is just a Remington iron that I bought from Walmart, and I used the heat at 300 just to kind of find that medium heat between these types of HTVs. So you're just going to align your image, and then it easily fits the size of the straightener. I like to go a little bit just right below the top and just press with my fingers down. They have these little plastic things to easily place your fingers so they don't get burned, and you just press the same amount of time you would use for an iron or a heat press, 10 to 15 seconds depending on whatever HTV you're using. So just make sure that there's enough pressure there. Okay. And strip flock is cold peel, so we'll wait on that one, and we'll go with an Easyweed. And you can really use any type of image you like. I thought these ones were cute to kind of go with the dog theme. And just go one by one, depending on what type of design you have. and it's actually fairly simple. You can also add a name to customize it, pretty much anything you'd like. Okay, so we'll peel this one, and you can see that that stuck on very well, and it didn't affect the back, so that's good. And here is the strip block. So it gives it that nice, fun little extra dimension to that. So if you were to use the heat press, obviously this would be the best option to fully extend the collar. That way you don't have to worry about the buckles or any metal pieces interrupting it. So you would just lay it on there. You can use a pillow underneath if you'd like, but it's pretty smooth, so you don't necessarily need to add there. And if you are doing separate images, just make sure that you use one of these sheets to protect the vinyl that's already been on there. And then you just easily press down for the amount of time that you need, and then back up. And depending on what type of peel it away or wait till it's cooled down. So you can also use a little baby iron that we usually sometimes show, but I found that the straightener worked really well. So it's really up to you how you want to go about putting together your dog collar. And if you'd like to see more ideas like this, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll talk to you later. Thanks. Bye.